We often think it's the actors or the dialogue that tell the story. But in Joker, light is the first thing that speaks. Today, we'll talk about light location, light color, and how shadows reflect a character's mind. Let's begin with light location. In early scenes, we often see Arthur lit from above. The mirror scene uses a classic three-point setup: a strong key light from 45 degrees above, subtle fill, and rim lighting from the mirror bulbs acting as practicals. This setup isolates his face while reinforcing his internal struggle. The small lights around the mirror are called practical lights, real lights that are part of the set. This kind of lighting appears many times throughout the film. Whether it's a street scene or a quiet moment at home, a single visible light source often plays a major role in the frame. For example, in the scene where Joker walks down the street, the street lights catch the viewer's eye, but not a single beam falls on Arthur himself. This makes his figure feel even more isolated and full of pain. Inside the room, the warm glow from the table lamp serves as a backlight, gently outlining Arthur's silhouette. Just like the street light, it highlights his emotional isolation in a subtle but powerful way. Now, let's move on to the light color dot. In the scene where Arthur returns home and climbs into the fridge, the lighting subtly reflects his emotional breakdown and his transformation into the Joker. There are three main sources of light. First, the yellow spill from the streetlight outside, created with a low color temperature light to serve as motivated lighting, adding realism. Second, the cool overhead light in the kitchen, likely a high color temperature LED, spreads across the floor and creates a strong color contrast with the warm tones, showing Arthur's emotional distance. And third, the blue light inside the fridge, produced by a hidden LED tube, works as both a practical source and a symbolic spotlight, isolating Arthur in a cold, quiet space. As he crawls inside, the blue glow wraps around him, like a cocoon, hinting that the Joker is about to be born. Then, it's come to the third section, light shadow. In the scene where Arthur visits his therapist, the key light is positioned directly above his head, creating a harsh top-down lighting setup. This results in strong contrast between light and shadow on his face, often referred to as chiaroscuro in cinematic terms. The sharp shadow cast under his eyes and jaw enhances the feeling of psychological pressure, portraying Arthur as someone caught in an unstable, anxious emotional state. When we talk about light and shadow contrast, it's not only about the division on a character's face, it also applies to the entire frame. In the scene where Arthur returns home, a warm light source is placed at the center of the composition, creating a strong contrast with the surrounding darkness. This setup expresses Arthur's emotional need to see his home as a temporary place of warmth and comfort. However, the light doesn't spread to his body or face, which subtly reflects his inner emptiness and confusion. The lighting divides the space emotionally and visually. Warmth exists, but it doesn't reach him. Finally, I'd like to mention one of the most iconic lighting moments in the film. Right after Arthur shoots the men on the subway, there's a strong backlight coming from behind him. The light perfectly outlines his head, creating a kind of halo effect, almost like a divine spotlight. This use of backlighting gives Arthur a sense of power and control, as if he has taken command over life and death. At the same time, the intensity and directness of the light also brings a sense of dizziness and disorientation, subtly reflecting his inner panic and anxiety in that moment. The lighting in Joker is key to revealing Arthur's emotional journey. Each light choice deepens the character's inner conflict, making the film visually and emotionally powerful.